Awesome. Are we ready?
We are,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Awesome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this webinar, The Best Kept Secret in the World of ICOs. And without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Mr. Elliot Hall, the CEO of Zepago. I am Prem Johal. I'm an external consultant advising on just a small aspect of the business. It's a vast business, and there's some very high quality team members. But I'll let Elliot do the talking. And we also have the lovely Lauren Hall today. She is marketing director and has some amazing, brings amazing talent to the team of Zepago. There's a lot of things going on both in the background and dealing with third parties, etc. And Lauren is in charge of the overall marketing strategy. So I'll hand over to Elliot now, and I'll come back later and discuss what I'm doing with Zepago.
Yeah, what is it you'd like me to explain first, Prem? I know we covered a lot last week. Is there any order, or you want to fire in the questions, or how do you want to go?
Well, I'm sure people would like to know, who is Elliot Hall and what have you been doing with your life and how did you get to be here now with Zepago? That would be a good start, and then maybe I can ask the next question afterwards.
Okay, so my background is in the and prior to getting involved in this app is in the leisure industry. So that's anything to do with tourist attractions, theme parks, casinos, food and beverage venues, all that kind of thing. So prior to 2011, I'd spent most of my life in businesses where you're actually taking cash over the counter all day and spending half the night counting it, and then going back to a bank the next morning and having to bank it and watch somebody else count it again. So it was always like, there must be an easier way to do this. And then in 2011, when this project first started off, I met a couple of guys that had this idea to have an app where you could order a beer and just beat the queue at a bar, basically. So my background at that time, not having anything to do with payments or technology or anything like that, took a little bit of getting my head around it. I didn't even have a smartphone at the time. But once you understood the potential, obviously an app like this couldn't just be used for ordering a beer. It can be used for any type of product or service. So my background, leisure, tourist attraction industry, but then got into the mobile payment sector. So the app itself is just a simple app, no rocket science technology, nothing that's patentable, anything like that. There's been probably 50 companies come and go that's tried to do something similar since 2011. They've run out of energy, out of money, determination, all that kind of thing. What we learned very early on is that it would be a hard business to grow organically, like coffee shop by coffee shop, bar by bar. So myself and my main founding partner, that's a guy called Richard Dilworth. He's got a military background, then involved in an architecture company called Foster Partners. So through his contacts from the past and his current position, he's also got lots of opportunities for Zepago. But back to the app. Similar app, payments, ordering. The business is a marketing and data business. While you can make a payments, we're not a payments company. So we're not in competition with the likes of Apple Pay or PayPal, Alipay, WePay, all of those kind of companies. We are a pre-ordering business which will work with all payments companies because we don't care how they check out at the end of the journey. That's only one of around 11 revenue streams. And pre-order, prepay, food and beverage, the sports and music industry is our main focus. So that's a little bit about me and the app.
Excellent. Thank you, Elliot. Now, I'm sure our viewers would like to know what kind of customer base this company will target or has already deals with in order to reach out to. How big are they, and what kind of customer base is it? Because if it is a downloadable app, of course, you want a lot of people to not only download it, but also use it on an ongoing basis. And that forms the backbone of the platform, basically, on which the Zapego tokens, utility tokens, will run eventually. So anything you'd like to add about that?
Yeah, so over the years, while we learned in the early days that it would be hard to grow organically, as I say, from bar to bar, coffee shop to coffee shop, we have actually been working with quite a few guys who've got really good connections into the bar industry. So if you add all the different opportunities together that we know we've got in the pipeline, there's over 20,000 bars and pubs in the UK that we know we can quickly get Zapego into. But what we decided was to start from the top down rather than the bottom up. So we have a 10-year exclusive contract with the NEC Group, and that contract is for mobile order payments. The NEC Group, they have around 7 million annual visitors to their venues, and they promote to like a large audience. So I think within a 2-hour drive of Birmingham, they promote to 29 million people. And within a 4-hour drive of Birmingham, their audience that they promote to is 41 million people. So initially, when we go live, they're going to be emailing the immediate database around the Midlands. So that's 3.2 million people that they will be emailing to say, hey guys, download Zapego, ready for the next time you come to an NEC event, be it a concert, it could be a car show, Crufts, who knows. And if you're not already coming to an event, download the app anyway, because your user ID and your order numbers, when you use the app elsewhere, go into like a prize draw to win tickets to concerts on a weekly basis. So they're not only going to be telling 3 million people straight up, hey, download the app, ready for an event. If you're not already coming to one, download it, you can win tickets for an event. Then they're going to continually promote to the 7 million annual visitors. And then once it's up and running in all the venues and we're comfortable with it and the time is right, they can then promote it to like their 41 million audience within 4 hours of Birmingham. To get the contract in the NEC Group, we had to integrate with an EPOS company called Vertida, and Vertida EPOS is used 1 million times in the UK. So as an idea, they integrate the EPOS system of Wembley Stadium, of Arsenal Football Club, of Man United, Man City, Everton, Liverpool, Southampton, Norwich, Watford, Derby County. I think it's over 50% of the Premier League clubs. I think 57 football clubs in total in the UK. And then the Manchester Concert Arena, 2 concert arenas in Birmingham, the London Concert Arena, the Liverpool Concert Arena, and lots of horse race courses, rugby clubs, cricket grounds. So we're installed into the EPOS, ready to be pushed out and rolled out in the UK. That EPOS company has been bought since we had the contract by a company in Australia called MSL Solutions Limited. And MSL Solutions Limited are operating in 21 countries with EPOS systems. And probably the first countries we'll go live in after the UK will be Australia, America, Spain, and the Middle East, then followed on by a long list of places that we have partners ready to go. So that's just a little bit of the opportunities.
Awesome, thank you. You mentioned Australia and US. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't really know much about it, but there's a lot of very large sporting venues and a very sport crazy population in the US. Is there a fair chance of integrating this over a period of time with some of those partners? Would you be planning that?
We're teed up to go into nearly 150 sports stadiums in the US. That's for a couple of companies that we've already had meetings with in Dallas and in New York. And in Australia, the Vertida EPOS is already installed into most of the large sports and music arenas. And I actually met last night with the CEO and chairman of MSL Solutions Limited, which are in the UK. We're meeting again on Friday, and they're on the way over to the US on Saturday, and they're scooping up lots and lots of opportunities for us to launch there too.
Fantastic, thank you for that. This is a comment from me, not really a question. I'll follow up with a question as well, but in the world of cryptocurrency, A lot of companies come and go because they have projects with ideas, and the ideas never really take off necessarily. Here, I think we're looking at something that brings real crypto usage within the system. Hence, it's a utility token. So it's something you acquire in order to use and spend later on. And if already millions of people are lined up to use this going forward, this is my observation that this is actually mainstreaming cryptocurrency, if you like. Or in fact, am I right in saying, Elliot, that the company never really had cryptocurrency in mind until fairly recently, because it's just simply a good match that the token issuance came about? Would you comment a little bit about the progression, how you came into crypto at all?
Yeah, so after signing our main contracts during the summer, autumn of 2017, we were like rubbing our hands together then. We've got these two contracts. We know we can easily get millions of users. And we were talking about going out then to big private equity companies and so on to raise finance. Our CFO and a couple of other guys around the same time said, hey, why don't you look at doing an ICO? You can create a community, you can have these utility tokens, you can make the tokens so they're used for discounts, vouchers, loyalty schemes, rewards, you know, can be anything, an extra inch on your hot dog, whatever it may be, whatever a venue wants to offer. And initially I had a look, Googled as you do, but all I could find that it was kind of a cowboy, well, maybe cowboy is not the right word, although there were lots out there. It was more like the Wild West. It was like a new territory, not regulated. And I thought about it, and I actually said to my wife, if we're not careful here, you know, if I jump straight into this, the next time I go to Orlando to Disney World with the children, I'll probably get arrested as I get off the plane, because it's just not regulated, and it'd be very easy to do something wrong that you don't know you're doing wrong. So I decided at that point we had to have a top four accountancy firm involved to ensure that if we're going to do this, we do it properly. I went to a good friend at KPMG, and he said, look, Elliot, known you for years, love to help you, but KPMG are just not getting involved in cryptocurrency. And this is October 2017. Then went to a good friend at EY. He said, we find the space very interesting, but we're sat on the fence, we're watching for the time being. So at that point, it was like, I flip a coin, do I go to Deloitte next or PwC? And I decided to go to PwC because we were already on their scale-up program. And they said, hey, we love ICOs, come in and see us. We've already advised over 50 ICOs in Asia. So I went in alone, I think it was a Tuesday morning, met with 4 people for about an hour. By the time we'd introduced ourselves, we only had half an hour to talk about Zepego, but they were really excited about it. They asked me to come back in on a Thursday. I think it was 11 o'clock on a Thursday. And I took a few colleagues with me, my founding partner, the technology guy, one of our crypto enthusiasts that have actually invested in Zepego already. And we arrived on the Thursday morning expecting to see 4 people, and they had 13 people in the room. They were dialing people in from Asia in the morning. In the afternoon, they were dialing people in from America. They'd actually flown a couple of guys in, one from Dublin, I think it was, and one from Lisbon or Brussels, something like that. And by the end of the day, the comments were, you know, if this is organized properly, we need to speak to the FCA, to HMRC. We need to do due diligence on all of your contracts and your partners and your team and all that kind of thing. And the comments at the end of the day were like, wow, with the opportunities you have around the world. And just to explain, you know, I had hours to elaborate on all the different launch opportunities we have. The comments were, you know, this, with the countries that you can launch in, this really could become one of the private cryptocurrencies of the world. And that's not only because of the football clubs or the concert arenas. We've also got some really close connections with some big shopping mall companies. There's one big shopping mall company where one of the board members is actually an investor into Zepego, and they can easily promote Zepego into all of their tenants. So the tenants of the shopping malls in Europe could very quickly use a PAYGO because the landlord is going to be saying, hey guys, use this payment system because it'll help us share the data to increase the footfall in the shopping malls. And I think over 40% of their tenants are global brands. So that like puts us into brands that are in shopping malls all over the world. So yeah, we were advised by PwC, unfortunately, because they did a good, very, very diligent job. It took nearly 7 months. And then by the time we were ready, it was late summer, early autumn 2018. But unfortunately, the crypto markets and ICO markets weren't what they were 6 months before. So rightly or wrongly, we decided to put the brakes on the idea of an ICO and pick it up again in the new year around Easter time. That was largely because the NEC Group had also been bought by Blackstone Private Equity. We've started exploring the ICO again because Blackstone Private Equity Group has bought the NEC, I should say, and that's put more of an urgency on us getting the product live now with them. And yeah, so no background in crypto or anything like that. Don't claim to be an expert, but learned an awful lot in the last 18 months or so.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, because that kind of is the confirmation necessary to know that there are good third parties who've done their due diligence. You mentioned having your contracts fine-combed, if you like, having to check out with HMRC and the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK if the system is all legit and above board. And this is, I think, the confidence necessary, regardless of how the cryptocurrency markets are performing. Cryptocurrencies, I believe, are just the tokens floating on the blockchain, but the blockchain is the key element. And if you have a valid project with real world application and signed up significant counterparties, as you mentioned, it's a top-down approach rather than a bottom-up approach. Rather than going pub by pub, you catch the ones with the big audience first and get them signed on, and then it trickles down. I see no problem with the uptake, but having said that, now coming to the tokens, I think our audience would like to know what the current pricing is, and what do you mean by redemption value going forward, and what are the future plans? I heard there is some additional, if I just look at the website, it says there are some additional types of opportunities for current token holders. So if you'd like to elaborate on where we are with the pricing and where we're going with the tokens.
Yeah, so initially at the moment, I think this purpose of this webinar is more to talk about the ICO tokens. So the ICO tokens are a complete utility token, intrinsic token. They can only be used from a redemption point of view against, say, discounts on products, cashback, loyalty, reward schemes, but whatever type of benefit that a business or a venue wants to offer to encourage repeat or new visitors. So we've got the ICO tokens, total utility token, and we're also in the process of planning like a securitized token as well. So the ICO tokens are a token that at the moment can be bought for like 0.07 cents per token. So $100 will buy 14,100 tokens, something like that, give or take 10 or 20 tokens. And the potential uplift in the redemption value of the ICO tokens can be $1 or more. So we're going to set a minimum redemption value of $1 per token. So we will sell the tokens to businesses. Obviously, we're selling the tokens to users. Businesses may offer customers and users free tokens to encourage them to use their businesses, but also the users can actually use the tokens to redeem the benefits. As time goes by and we grow the community and increase the amount how the tokens are being used, we can also then say to venues, do you want to be completely paid in the tokens and the PAYGO convert the tokens to fiat at the point of sale if it's a venue that's not used to using or accepting the tokens? So as time goes by, say there's a chain of coffee shops we'll do a promotion with them. They maybe buy 100 million tokens from us. The next 100 million coffees that are sold, they maybe give a token away with each coffee. And then the user will take the token with the coffee, but then they could also then use that token back to get vouchers, discounts, or use so many tokens to get a product. So like a coffee on average will be free tokens, say it's $3 a coffee. But all different venues will offer different discounts. So maybe people dialing in now from around the world, but in the UK there is a shop called Greggs, for instance. So Greggs is a pastry shop. So they may say, you know, on the next pie that you buy with us, we'll give you 1 token, or you can use a token and you'll get a pie with free coffee or something. So in that instance, the value may be $1, but if it's somewhere in London, say Annabelle's nightclub or some fancy bar or something, you know, they may offer a lot more for 1 token, higher discounts, different bottles of wine, all different kinds of things. So the redemption value might be $1, but who knows? In certain venues, it might be $10, and then the average could, you know, bottom out at 5 or something. But that's the utility token, and so that is a token that can be bought really low price at the moment, 0.07 cents per token, may have a value of $1 or more when we get the business live. So there is a big opportunity there for liquidity from those tokens. But then we're also planning an STO with a company called Dealbox. So that's dlbx.io. And that is going to be promoted by a company called CrowdCreate. And that's crowdcreate.us. So we do have 2 similar kind of tokens that we're going to be selling. One securitized, long-term over small percentages of the profits. So those tokens will be more expensive to buy, like a low-level interest return with an exit option. And then for the people that want to buy a token today for 0.07 cents and maybe sell them for a couple of dollars in 6 to 12 months, there's obviously the utility token too. So the time, I suppose, to jump on the bus with the utility tokens is now.
Fantastic. So correct me if my maths is wrong, but $100 gives you 14,000 give or take tokens. And if 14,000 tokens have a redemption value in 6 to 12 months of $1, I'm looking at $14,000. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So this is where, if I may say so now, can I just quickly check with Lauren? Do we have any comments coming in, or do we have questions building up?
We have questions building up, yeah. There's about 4, so I think if we wait till the end and then we can go through those, yeah.
All right, awesome, cool.
Yeah.
So I'll just resume what I was going to say, how I am involved. I was unaware of Zepago until a few months ago, until a good business partner, friend of mine, Andy Wall, he said, look, Prem, you need to have a look at this. Obviously, we did our due diligence and checked out that the team on the white paper that you see, as you see, is actually amazing. And then I had a few opportunities to meet with Elliot in person, but also with some other team members. And the more I tried to understand, the more it kind of made sense that this is mass adoption ready. So this is not something where, you know, like people talk about Bitcoin, I bought it at $5 and now it's $5,000. It's not that kind of a coin. This is an actual utility coin that average Joe public will be using, just like you have bonus reward points with various supermarkets, etc. So we thought, okay, right, let's see how we can work with Zepago as a company. And we were given this task of creating the referral program, essentially. And so I'm here mainly purely for the referral program. And we thought, well, we want people to buy these tokens now, and they're at very, very rock bottom price at this minute. We want people to buy these. People will buy these and then wait till the project goes live, and obviously they will reap significant rewards at the rate we just discussed, hopefully. However, what if we incentivized people to spread it by word of mouth? So I'm dealing with the network marketing aspect exclusively, and along with some other business partners, we're pushing the idea of Zapego in amongst the network marketing community, because these are the people that are very ready and quick to take up startup ideas. But to my mind, Zapego isn't really a startup in that sense. It's been a long time coming and perfecting. It's just ready to launch sometime very soon. And therefore, with signed contracts, with existing massive lists of users, so now network marketers should understand very clearly, well, if it is a mass adoption thing, you are coming in relatively early to benefit at the lowest possible price point. This is a chance to take this opportunity to your networks and spread it by word of mouth. And therefore, we've got this 7-level bonus plan. It's very simple. Bring a friend. When they buy, Zapego in its treasury has set aside a certain amount of tokens just for the bonus program. And those tokens will be released to you as you refer other people who buy the tokens. They're clearly paying dollar, euro, sterling, whatever. They're paying their money and buying these tokens to collect them. And as they do so, the company's treasury releases tokens in bonus as a thank you, as a finder's fee, as a reward. And that goes 7 levels deep. So if you bring in 10 people at your first level, whatever money they like to spend in accumulating these tokens, 7% of that is paid back to you. Then they bring in the next level, and when they buy, the first guy still gets 6%. So it keeps trickling down 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1%. And obviously at 0%, you don't get anything. But if you build as wide as you like, and if you build as deep as you want, and the total volume of money coming into Zapego even at the rock bottom prices, even at these prices, the company will still release about 25% in total paid out in bonuses. If you add 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3, it roughly works out, I think, to 24, 25 or something. So that is the amount of possible bonuses that can be earned. Now, obviously, this is not multi-level marketing. This is not some kind of a pyramid plan. It simply is an incentive for people to go out there and bring in the necessary buyers of tokens at this early stage, when we haven't actually, Zapego has not actually gone to mainstream media yet. We are still in the build-up stages. And the process is very straightforward. Our American friends can also participate. I think Elliot can mention that there's a slightly different process to that, but US friends can participate in this as well. But it's for the rest of the world, essentially, where you get to simply register on the website. It is mandatory to upload your KYC documents, a photo ID, and perhaps a utility bill as well to prove your address, unless you're paying by credit card. That's kind of automatic, I think. But the company performing that in the background, the due diligence on new members, in and of itself is FCA regulated. So that's a regulated company taking care of the KYC aspect, which is very, very important, and gives us all comfort that they will follow all the necessary rules as established in this economy. Now, once you've got the KYC cleared, pay your money, and you are literally a purchaser of a utility token, which you hold for a period of time, and then watch this project come to the stage when it goes live. However, in the meantime, while you have the time, take it to your friends and take advantage of this bonus pot set aside by the company. Sorry, Elliot, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no,
go ahead.
No. So a couple of things, I remember them. So again, we are still a startup, although we've been starting up for quite a few years, but Uber is still a startup. And there are all of the many opportunities that we've discussed. Just to go back to the tokens a little bit, you mentioned about that it's okay for US citizens to buy. That is possible, but it's only possible going through self-accredited investor letters and SAFT agreement. And anybody that did want to buy the tokens from the US, we have to make sure that McCarter English, which is our New Jersey lawyers, a top US law firm, approves and says that it's okay, because we need to make sure absolutely that we do everything correctly there. So just to reiterate, yes, US citizens can buy the tokens, but it has to be for a self-accredited letter and SAFT agreement. And every person, we have to share the name with McCarter English to get it approved. So, yeah.
Okay, great. So can I just ask, what
questions,
would
Lauren,
the
or
minimum...
Sorry, Lauren, do you want to go through the questions now? And
we can go through a couple of them. I think one of the first ones that I've just seen is just asking for a little bit about my background. So I know I've not spoken much, so I'll just give myself a little introduction. I head up marketing, more recently the ICO promotion side of things, and I've been involved with Zepego just over a year now. So prior to that, I headed up a branding and marketing agency, and we were responsible for fundraising through more traditional means, through crowdfunding, like on Crowdcube and websites like that. And that was just before Zepego got introduced to me. And I think when Elliot presented it to me, it was such an obvious opportunity for myself. I'm the target audience. I'm sort of like #1 user on Deliveroo, and you know, the Starbucks app and the loyalty and rewards and things like that. So it made sense for me to sort of jump on board. Prior to that, I'd not heard of an ICO, so like I say, it was a steep learning curve, along with Elliot as well. And so jumped on board, was responsible for the creation of the white paper and some of the video content that you've seen probably flying about on the ICO website. And just wanted to say, really, I think, you know, things had gone a little bit quiet, as Elliot mentioned, as the market sort of dropped towards the end of the year. But we've taken on new team members. There's been new equity investors. We've been extending some of the contractual partnerships. And needless to say, as a company, we came together to really look at how we could engage with you guys as a community and really nurture that and give you the tools and the content to be able to go out there, being a sort of a crypto enthusiast or not, and really present this compelling proposition to get involved in Zepego, and particularly the token affiliation campaign. So like I say, we're focusing on creating that content for you guys and giving you that as a real driving force to move it forwards. On the marketing side of things, as Elliot mentioned, we're engaged with some really well-renowned marketing specialists and influential names within the ICO space, who've been responsible for delivering some really successful campaigns. So I think I've no doubt, I know that the team have no doubt as well, that this is still set to be a really, really successful ICO campaign. And like I say, we're making more of a conscious effort to really keep you guys in the loop, encourage you to go spread the word, and like I say, give you those tools to be able to do so. We'll go over to the questions.
yeah, next one.
Yeah, so on this call, this is from Deanne as well. On this call, it would be great to hear something on timelines. Last time we ended on expected dates for NEC launch and the Bloomberg 12 City Crypto Tour.
Sorry, the signal dropped then, Lauren.
On this call, it'd be great to hear something on the timelines. Last time we ended on expected dates for NEC launch and Bloomberg 12 City Crypto Tour.
Yeah, so the first city will be probably mid to end of this summer, and the NEC we're looking at going live around the end of May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question from Bill. For the benefit of the audience, bracket investors, can you token buyers, summarize the timeline for the project taking ZAP to the market, so NEC, etc., the implementation, and when it will start to drive revenue to token buyers like us so we can manage expectations?
Yeah, so we are going to be well, we've got quite a few pub chains to start off with, and also working on some marketing plans with, for instance, the NEC. So all venues that we go live in will have the option to set up within the back-end system of their like Zepego platform, whether it be within their EPOS system or their iPad, to set up the promotions immediately, so they can be literally around an happy hour, getting certain discounts, vouchers, reward schemes, and all that kind of thing. And we're going to be pushing that from day one in all venues. We probably won't list the tokens on exchange for from today. It'll be somewhere between 3 to 6 months, maybe sooner, but we're probably going to hold off 3 to 6 months to ensure that there's already wide use of the app and the tokens in the UK. We've also got lots of opportunities to explore with football clubs, which we've started speaking to a few already. Can't name them yet, but there are, if you Google football clubs and crypto, you'll find that there's quite a few clubs at the moment now advertising crypto on the boards around the screen. There's a few clubs actually being sponsored by tokens. For instance, I think Derby County is one that got Jetcoin on the back of the shirts. There's a couple of the North football clubs that have also got associations, and yeah, we're going to be pushing out the use of the tokens from an early stage in all of the independents initially, but then building up to making them wide used within the larger contracts that we have, including the shopping malls. So in relation to the question, I would say realistically, you've got to expect somewhere between 3 to 9 months, probably closer to the 9 months, before you can use them on kind of a wide scale, at least in the UK. But that is with opportunities, contracts, and business leads that we have lined up that we've worked on for nearly a year now. So it could happen a lot quicker, but would rather under promise and over deliver.
Okay, next question from Major. Will the utility token be listed on an exchange, or will it be only used for purchases?
I know it will be, and the first exchange will be dx.exchange. So that's a new exchange which you'll be able to find, dx.exchange. That'll be the first one that we're listed on, most likely. But we do get approached by, Lauren can answer this.
Yeah, probably the past two. There's a lot. It's a full-time job in itself, and those are discussions that we've got ongoing, as well as, you know, with the listing sites and, you know, everything to do with marketing, to all the different sort of strings to the bow to really get the name out there and drive the the rewards marketplace out there.
We'll be picky with the exchanges though. So DX Exchange was introduced by Bloomberg, and being as we've managed to create quite a good friendship there with an opportunity for not launching but promoting the ICO and STO, we will be going with the one that they recommended first. Yeah. And that's a good exchange. It's a new one.
Well, next question from Darren. Can we sell the utility tokens in the future?
If anybody's bought them and they find somebody that can transfer on them until they can sell them now, so they're not fixed to any name or anything. And the tokens that are currently on sale are the holding tokens. So they're going to be exchanged for a more smarter utility token before they can be used anyway. So yeah, you know, if you buy them today, you can, you know, if a man buys them today, you can transfer them to his wife and so on and so on. There's no restriction.
Question from Judy: how do we register? How do we purchase for USA members?
So there is an email address on the ICO website. So basically, you just have to start it off by emailing there, and from there we'll take it forwards. I think it's just the ICO website, is it, Lauren?
Yeah, ICO.
Yeah, and then ICO@zepego.com.
From Jeanette, can we use the tokens to pay for goods or parts of goods, or will they not be able to be used for a few months?
So if you're buying them today, it'll be at least a few months before they can be used. So initially, you will be able to gain a discount or some sorts of rewards. And ultimately, the plan is, when they're in wide use, to give venues the choice to accept the tokens as payments. So majority of venues in the world today would never accept crypto as a payment. But if they are accepting Zepago tokens as a way to encourage new visitors or repeat visitors, and they're building up a bank of the tokens which they're then giving back out, there will be instances, we believe, that venues will accept tokens as payment, because then they can recycle them and hand them back out to encourage more repeat use and visit of their venues and purchasing of the products. For venues that don't want to accept the tokens ultimately in the future as a payment, Zepago have plans in place and already building the technology to convert the tokens into fiat at the point of sale. So somebody might have, say, $22 worth of tokens, and they're buying a product of $22. We would pay the venue in fiat and take the dollars back into the Zepago exchange, ready to be recycled again when the time is right.
Question from Major. When the token increases in price, say from 0.1 to 1.0, how will the token be sold?
So people will be able to sell them on the exchanges. I say, the first one being DX. We have had discussions with, I would say, probably 5 of the top 10. But we're not in no rush at the moment to get the tokens on those exchanges. The time isn't right. And when the tokens are more widely used and in circulation, Zepago will obviously also be able to do a better deal with the exchanges than we would do at the moment.
Cool. Question from Steve. Could you talk a bit about the profit sharing side of Will Work, please? Will utility token holders earn an income from their 14,000 tokens or whatever they have?
Not from the utility tokens. The utility tokens are to be bought, to be used and exchanged for one of the many vouchers, exchanges, or discounts and so on. They can be sold again, but the utility tokens are strictly a utility token in the truest meaning of the sense. They're not a security token. They are not intended to be an asset or giving any share of profits or anything. So they can be bought at 0.7 cents today. The plan is that the minimum redemption value will be $1. So obviously, if somebody buys 100 tokens and they use them in the local bar, the next 100 pints, they can get $1 off of every pint. Obviously, that then becomes worth something. They might want to sell them on the exchange to people and so on. So, yeah, they're not a security. They're not an asset. They're not an investment. They're a speculative utility token.
Okay. Next question from Satish. If people make what look like huge gains, what happens when a lot of people sell off? What will that bring the token price down?
Because these are tokens that can be used in general in venues all of the time, you can never be sure that somebody won't buy, $1 million worth of tokens and then in 6 months sell them again. But we're looking to have more people owning a small amount of tokens. So it's not like Bitcoin where a handful of big whale investors own, a majority of Bitcoin. We're looking to have more people own a small amount. So there's never going to be, and we're going to be in control of the sale of them as well. So there's never going to be an opportunity where half a dozen guys from San Francisco, buy $10 million worth each and then all sell them on the same day. We want this to be a true utility trusting community token that can be used for utility purposes.
Can I just quickly add to that?
Yeah, but like I said, there's nothing stopping somebody from buying 1 million and then selling them straight away. But because we want to sell them to the masses, that's something that we want to avoid.
Can I just really quickly add to that? Hi, Satish, hope you're well. Really, to address, I think what you're asking is, well, obviously there's a huge gain to be had, and then suddenly you've got the pump and dump scenario when the exchange listing takes place, and that is always a risk with any cryptocurrency, regardless. But I think
and with any currency in the world as well.
Also with currencies, yeah, exactly. This is exactly what George Soros did with the sterling, didn't he? When he broke the Bank of England famously. But back to this point, the massive user base that is actually using tokens are not the people that have accounts set up in the right exchange and are going to straight away go and try and sell those tokens. They're actually using the tokens. That's the whole importance of a utility token. So the wider your actual user base, the actual circulating tokens between venues and between the actual end users, that is you, me, Lauren, that base, when it is much, much wider at the bottom, then a few people trying to manipulate can have some impact on price, but that impact is on the exchange price. The rewards set by the venue, the discounts offered by the venue, and the company deal from Zapego to the venue, when they have, like Elliot mentioned, swap it for straight dollars, it's a point of sale conversion into fiat. That system remains relatively unaffected. And if we ensure, and this is why personally, I'm not in a hurry to have these tokens listed on any exchange. Leave it for later. Let's get the mass adoption taken care of first. Let's have massive number of users downloading the app, exploring this token idea and using it in real terms, just like, the little gold coins you have inside of your gaming apps, for example. Those are actually being used on a daily basis, like credits or whatever. So when you have that base, the concern for an exchange listed pump and dump is already kind of counterbalanced by the sheer volume of circulating currency. So this is just my 2 cents for now.
Yeah, next.
Next question from Paul. Hi, Elliot. How long do you think we will have left at the current token price?
Good question. How long? It's going to be at least weeks for sure. At least weeks. Yeah.
And then it goes up.
From a selling point of view from Zapego, yeah, but it's going to be at least 2 to 3 weeks, the very minimum. Yeah.
Okay. So next question from Agnes. What is the procedure in obtaining tokens, Prem?
Do you want to run through that, Lauren? Or is there a video that you were making a video on that? It's all self-explanatory on the website.
Yeah, just touching on what I was saying before. So the content that we want to get to you guys is going to be most likely in video format. And again, it's going to be step by step, and it'll be something that you're able to share with your network, and will make, your guys at sort of the top of the token affiliation campaign and getting those incentives. It'll make your job a little easier, and so that's something that we're looking to get done shortly and give to you guys as content to go out and share.
But it is currently fully explained on the website as well.
It is, yeah. It's currently explained on the website, yeah.
Yeah, next.
Okay, next question from Trevor. How can I make a purchase?
Same thing. ICO
on the website. Yeah.
Basically, you register, upload your KYC documents, and then that is usually approved within a day, maybe 2. And then next time you log in, you can see that you can buy tokens.
Yep. So next question from Jay. Hello, what is the max supply of the tokens, and what is the ticker for the token? Also, what is going to be running the Ethereum blockchain?
So there's 10 billion holding tokens that have been created. We have had a bit of a delay on not so much the exchange side of it, but you mentioned Ethereum. So we're also in discussion with Block.one. It's most likely that we're going to stick with Ethereum, and it will continue to be an Ethereum token as it is now. It's an ERC20. But there are some discussions going on with EOS Block.one, and there's a chance that we might change, but we're having some professional advice on that. And what was the ticker question, Lauren? I didn't quite. Is that some sort of?
What is the ticker for the token? ERC20? Is that?
Yeah. So it's.
No, if I could answer that real quickly. Hi, Jay. So the ticker is ZHT, but these are just holding tokens. These are just temporary tokens because the system isn't live, right? So when the final rollout happens, your tokens get swapped for the real token, and then that ticker becomes relevant because it's that ticker that eventually gets listed on various exchanges, and it is by that ticker that all the trading community and all the buyers and sellers will be able to know on exchange. And what Elliot mentioned earlier, I'm actually quite impartial whether it remains ERC-223 on the Ethereum ecosystem or whether it becomes EOS powered. How the discussions progress is actually a bit of a learning curve for all of us. But because there is no such thing as a crypto expert anywhere in the world, we are all kind of equally new to this. But to address what you're trying to say is, don't go. I would recommend don't go with the ticker just yet. These are temporary holding tokens because you have to be given something when you make a payment, right? So that's why they're holding tokens. But the real functional tokens that will be loaded into an app that will be running on your own dedicated blockchain, that is yet to come. The planning is all there, but the go live is still a bit further away. So encourage this program, bring in these early users, which is all of us, and we will see the massive explosive growth when obviously those big lists of other third-party partners who are happy to tell them, download, get yourself some of this because you'll be able to spend it on our venues very, very soon. And before that takes place, we are kind of privileged to be here at this level to enter at this price. Okay.
Yeah, and it will most likely, it's probably 95% sure we will continue with Ethereum as well. Next
question from Major. Where the tokens stored? Is there a private label wallet?
So currently they're just the ERC20 tokens explained. So you just need to get yourself a My Ethereum, My Ether wallet, or there's another one actually that can be used, but it's mainly, most people are using the My Ether wallets. And when they change to the Zepago token, there is going to be a bespoke wallet built within the Zepago app. But you can also then you put the tokens on any of your major wallets. But to start off with, you're better off just getting a myetherwallet.com account. And then when they change to the smart contracts, they'll be able to be stored within the Zepago app then.
Can I just quickly add to that? If you're relatively inexperienced, as Elliot mentioned, myetherwallet.com is the good place to start. Yeah. If you're slightly more experienced, you might want to consider MetaMask. It's just a drop-down tab on your Google browser, and it's a wallet that's attached to your Google browser. But the holding of the tokens takes place with MetaMask, so they secure it. It's not actually in physical possession on your laptop itself. You just get to see the transactions. For those of you willing to dabble a little deeper with security keys and everything else, IM Token is an app, mobile phone downloadable app, and that's another wallet. Please.
Just on that one, to check, is Chris on the line, Lauren? And if we can confirm this later, so for sure, My Ether wallet, but some people have had problems using different wallets that don't take ERC20 tokens. So we'll just get confirmation on that from Chris. I think IM is one of the ones that are okay, but the best safe bet is myetherwallet.com.
Correct, yes. A lot of people from the previous buyers of tokens, they used Wirex and some used Coinbase. Do not use Ethereum wallets, please. ERC-223, this type of token is a kind of a carbon copy of it, but that doesn't mean it'll fit into an Ethereum wallet. So if you have Wirex, if you have Coinbase, if you have I don't know, I've got a few others, but can't think right now. But if you have a regular Ethereum wallet where you're holding Ethereum, that does not mean it can handle all the various different ERC or Ethereum-based tokens. So myetherwallet.com is the safest bet. Just open that, and it's very intuitive. You'll figure it out in no time at all. Instead of your normal 9-digit account number, you have these long list of characters. That's your account number, and it's very, very easy. You copy paste it. You never try to type it. We'll be giving you these kind of guidance videos over a period of time. But first, it was important to let you know the scale and the quality of this opportunity here right in front of you, and the fact that this is one of the first big mass adoption systems going in from venues, public user venues, and making inroads into society at large. This is one of the first of those tokens.
And an IM token is okay. Chris has confirmed. Okay, Lauren, next question.
Next question from Bill again. Can you clarify that we can sell our tokens and exchange to STO tokens, and would they have to be sitting at $1 to do so?
Just explain that again, Lauren.
Can you clarify when we sell our tokens and exchange to STO tokens that they would have to be sitting at $1 to do so?
No, so you will not be changing the ICO tokens to SCO tokens. So the ICO tokens at the moment are a holding token, ZHT, and you'll be exchanging the ICO holding token to an ICO smart contract utility token. The STO tokens are a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
So the STO tokens are securitized against future profits. The ICO tokens have the more immediate high volume exchange opportunities.
Okay. Next question from Jeanette. Why is the price so low?
Aaron, because we want to create mass use of the tokens. We've got 10 billion holding tokens. Those, although they won't be needed to be fractionalized, they can be. But when this smart contract comes out, the 10 billion holding tokens will be exchanged for 10 billion smart tokens, and everyone will be able to be fractionalized. So we want the price to be low. We want to have the tokens out there in the masses because we've got literally hundreds of thousands of venues already lined up for use of the tokens. We want it to be, like we say, want it to be used by the masses, not just a handful of wealthy people.
Okay.
Can I just add to that? I mean, if $100 gives you 100 tokens, I would take 14,000 instead. So, and this is how part of the any business capital raising takes place. When you have an established thing, then the market forces drive the price when everything goes mainstream. But in the early part of it, this is an incentive for most people to see the value of the actual utility tokens being used left, right, and center all over the world. And I am privileged to be part of it, although I've not opened my own account yet. Like I said, I'm an external advisor. But what I might do is I'll do a screen share account. I'll set up a brand new account and screen share that and put it up for video, for editing first, and then show you how the process works and how you can create an ERC compatible wallet as well. All those videos will follow very soon.
Next question from Tony. We've answered the IM token. Yeah, Chris has also confirmed I'm token in my Ether wallet. And then Satish, how many tokens have been sold so far?
Well over a billion. But we've not marketed and promoted. This is our second webinar, and as I say, we put on everything on hold back in October, November, and we're just starting to gear up again. But we've sold over 10% of the tokens.
Yeah. And just the last one from Catherine, saying the best thing to really is to hold on to the tokens. You've got a certain amount and you don't have a clue what's going on, but what Prem just said, we will be giving you that content as well, just to help you guys follow it all step by step.
And just to go back to the low price, we want to start off with a low price and the token value go up rather than selling them for $1 and like lots of ITO tokens that don't have a business behind them, the value dropping straight away.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm done for the day, and thank you very much, Lauren and Elliot. And thanks everyone for attending. We've had some reasonably good attendance today. And yeah, just take it out there to your networks, and we will do more regular webinars. We will bring other members of the team on the panel as well, because you need to see their faces, you need to hear from them, and all that is planned, but obviously it takes time. So in the meantime, I suppose, get busy networking.
Yeah, and the main thing is Zepego's ICO is not just an idea on the back of a A4 sheet of paper. We've been working on this for many years. We've got a great team, a great project, great timing, and there's huge opportunity for growth within the business. It's we've got real contracts with listed companies, with bank-owned companies, with a company that's owned by the world's largest private equity company. And it's a real opportunity ICO Utrinsic utility token. There we go. No more questions? Let everybody go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.